What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2002 movie Lilo and Stitch. So, in this movie, as Stitch, a runaway genetic experiment from a faraway planet, wreaks havoc on the Hawaiian Islands, he becomes the mischievous adopted alien puppy of an independent little girl named Lilo, and learns about loyalty, friendship, and ohana, the Hawaiian tradition of family. So, this movie is absolutely great. I absolutely love Lilo and Stitch. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. It has been ever since it first came out in theaters back in 2002. It was one of the first Disney Animation Studios movies, aside from like Tarzan, that I actually saw in the theater. I think it was actually my second one after Tarzan. And everything. Unfortunately, I haven't seen near as many of the Disney Animation Studios in the theater as I've wanted to and everything, even in recent years, so I haven't. But Lilo and Stitch is one of the ones that I did make it out to see, and I almost didn't go see this one because the trailers didn't fully sell me and stuff, but my grandma wanted to see it because she was a big Elvis fan, and me and her really kind of bonded over Elvis music and stuff that year when this movie came out and everything. We were listening to all the songs from the movie and stuff all the time together, and so she talked pretty much my whole family into going, and we went, and it was me, her, my dad, my aunt, my brother, and I wanted to say a couple of friends, and maybe my mom were with us too, and we went to see Lilo and Stitch, and I was just very surprised at how much I love this movie. The story is just so very well written. It's got a lot of really great moments and everything. The characters are just absolutely lovable, and each have their own distinct personalities, like you would expect from a Disney movie and everything. But this has some of the best characters in a Disney movie, maybe the best since Emperor's New Groove, at the time anyway. I love how well written the sisterhood bond between Lilo and Nani is, and everything, how like they don't always get along and stuff, but you can tell that they really care about each other, and that Nani is doing everything she can to take care of Lilo and stuff, and it's just very well written and stuff. And Nani is a really underrated great character and stuff. Like, there's just something about her that I just find her really admiring and stuff. She's really a likable character, and very good character. The music in here is great. Has lots of fun tunes and stuff, especially the Elvis songs. Has Hound Dog and Suspicious Minds, which is possibly my favorite song of his. You're the Devil in Disguise, I love that song too. And there's a lot of other Elvis songs throughout this movie, and even Winona Judd did a version of Burnin' in Love that played over the credits, and I thought that one was pretty good. I didn't really care for the pop version of I Can't Help Falling in Love with You. I thought that one was just okay, but it played over the credits, so I don't usually actually hear it when I watch the movie, because I don't really watch the credits and everything when I watch this movie and stuff. But my favorite original song, I think it was written for the movie, is the Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride. I think it was written for this movie. I love that song too. And the animation is gorgeous. It just looks really great, and all of the alien designs are unique. None of the aliens look alike, and they all have their own distinct personalities. I love Jump and Peakley and everything, even though they're supposed to be the villains throughout most of the movie, and they make a big switch at the end and kind of just join this family and stuff. I thought that was really cool, and I love the whole message of and everything, and how like by the end of this movie, Lilo and Nani have pretty much made a family with David and the aliens and Cobra Bubbles and stuff, and I thought that was just really, really cool and stuff. And this movie went on to start a franchise too. We have 3 direct-to-video sequels and a TV show. The first sequel and last sequel were bookends to the TV show and everything, kind of like how the 2 Aladdin sequels were bookends to that one's animated show and everything. So yeah, that was pretty cool and stuff and everything. So there's a lot of things I love about this movie, and like I said, it's just really great, and the score in here is really good and everything. It fits the tone of the movie, and Chris Sanders directed this movie and everything. I think he did a really great job writing and directing it, and he also does the voice of Stitch, which was awesome and everything. He would later go on to do the How to Train Your Dragon movies, or at least work on them. I don't know if he directed them or not, but this one's co-directed by Dan Benoist and everything, who also helped Chris Sanders do the How to Train Your Dragon movies as well and everything. And I think that they're a really good team, and they know how to make some really good animated movies, and everything. And as much as I love How to Train Your Dragon, I don't think that those movies hold a candle to Lilo and Stitch. This movie is just absolutely great, and it has a great voice cast too, led by DeVay Chase and Chris Sanders is the title characters. They're just great, and everything is crazy to think that DeVay Chase, who voiced Lilo, also later that year would go on to play Samara in The Ring, and one of the creepiest horror villains of all time. And she also did the voice of the main character in Spirited Away in the American version and everything. And she was really kind of big there for a little while in America as a kid actress and stuff, and she just kind of disappeared. But I enjoyed the stuff that she was in and everything. But yeah, so all in all, I love Lilo and Stitch. I think it's a really great movie. It's one of the best movies of the early 2000s for Disney, if not their best. It might easily be my favorite. I'm pretty sure that I could say it is. The only ones that I think really give it competition are The Emperor's New Groove and The Princess and the Frog. The early 2000s was kind of a really mediocre time for Disney and everything. And a lot of people refer to it as their experimental era and everything. They did a lot of experimental movies to see that they didn't know how audiences would react to and stuff, and a lot of them didn't do very good. Some are considered underrated classics now, like Atlantis, Lost Empire, which I don't necessarily think that movie is terrible or anything, but I don't think it's as great as some people make it out to be. Everything, and I'm curious to see how I'll feel about the other ones from the early 2000s, although I've watched them in not too recent years, so I don't expect my thoughts to change too much. But yeah, this one is definitely one of my favorites from the 2000s, and it's one of my favorite Disney movies from my childhood. I think this was the first one since Emperor's New Groove to really get me pumped and stuff, because DreamWorks was kicking Disney's butt at that time. Between DreamWorks and Pixar, Disney didn't have much of a chance in the early 2000s and everything. And between the time this one came out and The Emperor's New Groove came out, DreamWorks had gave us Shrek, Spirit, and Stallion of the Cimarron. I think both of those were really great movies that were better than Atlantis and Treasure Planet and some of the other Disney movies from that time period. Just those two alone, but yeah. So, but yeah, I love Lilo and Stitch and everything, and this is a really great movie. It's a childhood favorite of mine, and I feel like it gets better every time I watch it. This is one of those movies that I've never gotten tired of and everything. It's the one from the early 2000s that I think is just as great as their stuff from the 90s, and ranks among some of their best movies and everything. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Lilo and Stitch. I definitely would say I'd give this one an A+ and everything. I'm not really sure how I feel about the live action remake that they're doing. I'm not really excited for it, to be completely honest, but we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, this movie is pretty good and everything. I know that a live action remake ain't going to be able to hold a candle to this movie, but we'll see how it turns out. But anyway, as far as this one goes, it's a great movie. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Lilo and Stitch, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.